Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Hey everyone and welcome back to Is That More Brandon. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a review to the 13th episode of Celebrity Big Brother. This is the episode that came out on Monday and it was obviously just before the day that we found out the next housemate to be evicted from the house. So at the beginning of the episode, Marisha explained that she was exhausted, asking the other housemates how much she could take. Zizi also said she was exhausted. David said nobody was obviously speaking to each other. And Fern said that obviously the other housemates want her out because they've obviously been voting for her. St. Patrick's Day celebrations were on the way because obviously St. Patrick's Day was the previous day. And they were playing Galway Girl by Ed Sheeran in the background. And when the housemates were waking up, they were playing C'est La Vie whilst waking up the rest of the housemates. Coulson said to Louis, "Happy St. Patrick's Day," with Louis kind of not realising that it was today. And Coulson explained that he had a bit of pain relief for his neck, because obviously his neck was in a bit of a situation. Nikita came to the diary room and said it was his first time celebrating St. Patrick's Day. He doesn't want to go home on Tuesday, and he knows it was his decision to be put up for nomination, but it was obviously meant to be. Fern was actually giving Louis a quick little massage, kind of like rubbing his shoulders and making sure he was obviously feeling okay, and then you could just see a shot of David looking over as if like, what are you doing kind of thing, so he just looked a bit confused. With David saying, yeah, Louis is fine, his blood pressure is going up. Fern had a chat with David, so obviously this is when they entered the St. Patrick's party, and she basically said to him, we would be good as barmaids. And Louis, Marisha and Zizi, Louis basically said that it seemed to be 5 against 3. Bradley, David and Marisha had a chat outside, and I think they were all getting ready for the party, and David kind of asked what his outfit looked like. Bradley said it's giving gender, because I think he was wearing like a skirt or something. David said fluid, and then Marisha jumped in and said non-conforming babe. So they all kind of agreed that, you know, anyone can wear anything in the house, and the fact that one of them was wearing a dress doesn't really matter. Marisha explained to Louis that she thinks she's got Irish in her blood, because obviously she was from a family of slavery. She's not really sure 100% where she's from. And then she actually asked Louis what obviously St. Patrick's Day is all about, or somebody else asked, and he said St. Patrick's Day is where you vanish all of the snakes. They were all drinking some Irish ale, which David said tasted like coffee, and Bradley actually said that he really liked it. And Nikita explained it was his first time nominated, with Louis saying that you don't want to see that. David explained to Nikita it's going to get easier, and Nikita said that he has a feeling that that's it. His time in the house is over and he's just going to enjoy those final few days. We saw a little clip of Marisha dancing outside, so she was singing a little song called Water by Tyler, and one housemate had to come to Celebrity Big Brother diary room in order to do some sort of special task, I believe. Coulson said he chooses Fern because he trusts her, and Fern, when she came to the Big Brother diary room, she needed to choose one housemate that she wanted to be evicted today. She was given a pot of gold, as they do on St. Patrick's Day, and she needed to put a snake on someone's bed, and obviously whoever she chose, that person would be evicted. She said that unfortunately she would need to choose Louis. The conversations that she has with him go round and round in circles, and she's kind of doing it for her own sanity. So she went to put the snake on someone's bed, but little did Fern know there was actually a secret task with the twist. So her secret task was to put the snake on the bed, but the twist was something else. And yeah, we found out that the nominations were in 20 minutes. And I think a couple of them started saying top of the morning Tia, and Louis said nobody even says that anymore in Ireland. Louis asking Fern if she seems to be plotting something, and if she is, I don't care. So the fact that she's been pulled to the diary room, you know that she's going to have given some sort of task or some sort of immunity or some sort of, you know, challenge to complete. So Louis has a feeling, because otherwise she wouldn't have been called. Louis basically said St. Patrick's Day hasn't driven out all the snakes, and I think at this point they were told they had to go and look for the snake in the bed. So David asked, was it a real snake or a person? Marisha said maybe Sharon's back, and then Louis obviously saw the snake in his bed going ... why is the snake in my bed? Louis had to come to the diary room, and he was basically asked by Celebrity Big Brother, are you feeling lucky? And he was basically advised there was a housemate who found a pot of gold and decided to evict somebody, with Louis saying, is that me? And then he was told to look in front of him in the hatch. He found a 4-leaf clover, and obviously it was the luck of the Irish. So instead of being evicted, he had immunity from the next round. So I think at this point everyone else was watching on, and I guess Fern had to be as subtle and as non-dramatic as possible to be like, oh my god, someone's put a snake in Louis's bed, what a shame. So, in terms of the nominations, Louis voted for Bradley because he's too happy, singing and smiling all the time, very nice, and his eyes are obviously on the trophy. And then for Zizi, him and her just don't click, they're like water and oil, they don't mix. He also said that she threw her toys out of the pram when he was choosing David for tasks, and thinks that she put the snake in his bed. And then when he came back, he basically said, look, there's 1 of 7 people here who wanted me out today, so I'm obviously going to have at least 1 vote to be eliminated. Up next was David. He voted for Marisha, as there was a few instances that he had distrust of her. And in the courage task, she was one of the only ones to not say a word, and she comes across as ingenuous. And then also for Fern, the fact that she had that square of chocolate in the bedroom, and he was on gruel all day, it's almost like she was being a little bit selfish. And then again, Louis said, someone's put a snake in my bed, and Bradley said, Louis, you'll probably find out, with Louis saying, no, I'm going to find out. Up next was Fern, so she voted for Marisha, saying that sometimes around Marisha, she's not really heard, and she doesn't usually hear what Fern is saying, so sometimes those conversations just end themselves. And for Coulson, who she said she absolutely adores, but there's lots of moaning and groaning about his aches and pains. He's a young guy, and she said that he needs to just accept that sometimes things will hurt. Coulson nominated Marisha, saying that there were questionable things that happened in the house, such as the voting for Ekin-Su, which is obviously a bit of gameplay, and her sitting in silence for the killer nomination challenge. And then for Fern, he felt unsupported by her, and he would enjoy being around the other housemates more. Nikita voted for Fern, saying everyone else is much more part of the group. And then for Zizi, they haven't had that deep chat, they haven't opened up to each other yet. Zizi voted for Coulson because he's not someone that she'll go to if she's sad. She can't really go on to that level yet. And then Bradley, she's not always wanting to be high energy all the time, so I guess the fact that he is, that's why they don't get on as well. And then Nikita asked Louis who he thought it was that put the snake in the bed, and Louis basically said, well, it's not Coulson, and it's definitely not going to be who I think it's going to be. Bradley came to the diary room next. He voted for Marisha as well. Everyone needs to play equally, sometimes obviously taking control a little bit. And then he also voted for Zizi. Lots of fun conversations with her, but almost too much fun. And I feel like he's kind of showing her that he doesn't really have a sensitive side or no substance. So yeah, that's probably why he and her don't get on that well. And then Marisha voted for Fern, who obviously likes to be on her own, which is absolutely no problem at all. But she wants to have people in the house that want to interact, stay up late, not obviously go to bed early. And then for David, she knows that he's suspicious of her, and she's afraid that he's going to nominate her, so she's just going to nominate him. So in the end, David only had 1 vote, Coulson and Brad had 2, Zizi had 3, Marisha and Fern had 4. Louis said he still wants to know who put the snake in his bed, so he still wasn't going to let that go. And Marisha explained to Zizi that was the hardest thing she's ever had to do. She hates the nomination situation. Bradley and Nikita were doing a little performance showing off their snakes. So this was the Harry Potter themed video. It was like, Harry Potter, Cerberus, Snape, Dumbledore. They were doing that in the house outside, with Louis basically judging their performance as it's different. In the nominations, they were unable to nominate Louis, purely because he won immunity, with Louis saying good. And we found out that the people up for the public vote were Marisha, Zizi and Fern, with Marisha saying all the girls. Zizi explained that she had a good time. Coulson said to David he was expecting his name to be read out, and Fern explained to Marisha that it feels a little bit funny, just obviously being up for nomination again. And then Marisha replied saying, I'm happy with everything, with Fern adding, I'm astonished to even still be here. Zizi said to David that she's genuinely okay, and obviously she might even get to go home on Tuesday, with Coulson saying you can't call it. and Zizi saying that her name has never been called out at a public eviction before, so she's not really sure of the reaction she's going to get, and she has had a few arguments in the house, so again, she's not really sure if that's going to be on her side or not on her side. Louis came to the diary room saying that he's in the final after all these nominations. Everyone else seems to be putting on a brave face. Fern is being professional. She wants to obviously get through to the final. She's had 44 years on TV. Fern was also called to the diary room, and Big Brother basically just asked her how she was, and she said, well, thanks for checking in on me. However, what will I do for the next 48 hours with suspicions that they all think it was me, and they all seem to want me out, saying that she's not in an enviable position. Little and behold, we moved on. So we moved on to the St. Patrick's Day party with Nikita saying to Zizi he can't really be bothered to celebrate anything, with Zizi saying that she was a little bit drained by the situation. And then after about 3 minutes, Nikita said, well, actually, I'm going to go to the party, so you're coming with me. So he ended up dragging Marisha, carried Zizi, so they all ended up going to the party. Zizi came to the diary room quickly after, saying that she wasn't really in the mood to dance. She's had quite an intense 2 or 3 days of twists and turns. Everybody is oversensitive at the moment. She's content with being up for nomination. The boys have made it to Friday and obviously want to celebrate. Louis's got 9 lives and he's just going to keep surviving. Fern was in the bathroom, and then we saw Zizi having a chat with Marisha and Louis, saying that she doesn't really see Nikita going, and at least one lady will be in the final. And then Fern has been saved twice already, so they were kind of not really sure if Fern was going to be saved again. Coulson then came to the diary room and said he was having the most unenthusiastic St. Patrick's Day, saying that him, Brad and David are potentially finalists, and obviously everyone else, they are potentially up for eviction. And Louis is kind of like the mastermind villain, playing that sort of role, and he kind of feels like the house is a little bit divided between wedding reception / wake vibes. Louis and Zizi were having a chat about their grandmas, and Louis said that he lost his grandma in her 80s, and it was obviously the worst thing that happened, and Zizi explained that hers never got to see her do any of her TV stuff and the progression of her career as of now. Marisha said to Zizi and Coulson that Fern seems to have gone through hell today, with Coulson saying that he thinks Fern wanted to get Louis out. Yeah, with Louis saying, yeah, she tried to get him out, and actually she ended up being nominated again. So yeah, that was kind of a ha-ha from Louis. Zizi said that sometimes Louis is over the top, thinking he's always an easy target, and that's why he's obviously being nominated, with Nikita saying no, that's not the reason why. And Coulson was talking to David and Bradley, saying that he doesn't think Nikita's going to go anywhere, with Bradley saying he'll be gutted if actually any of them go. Martin and Zizi were having a chat, Marisha and Zizi were having a chat, and she basically said Fern's going to stay. She's been saved twice before, so she'd rather prepare to leave than prepare to stay. So if you prepare for the worst and then actually end up staying, at least you've actually dressed up nice and whatever, and then you can just wear that for the next 24 hours. And she said for some reason being nominated has actually given her a bit of a boost for some reason. And finally, David came to the diary room saying that everyone woke up happy today. There were a lot of points during the day where nobody was speaking to each other, obviously the whole Snakegate situation, and he basically said there's test after test after test. What a whirlwind so far. So that's what we found out for Monday's episode. So as of now, we know that 3 girls and Louis are all up for nomination or for eviction. So again, it's a very difficult one to judge, because I know Zizi is very, you either love her or you hate her. I think Marisha is quite good. I don't know if she's starting to annoy people just because of her singing all the time. Fern, she has a bigger audience than people think she has because she's been saved twice before already. Nikita put himself up, obviously the previous day, and he's up with the 3 girls. Sorry, Louis had immunity from the whole 4-leaf clover thing. What am I talking about? Oh, the end of the episode, we got Marisha, Fern and Zizi all joining Nikita up for nomination. So I think in terms of who's going to go, like I said, Marisha, very singy, very dancey, very entertaining, but I don't know if people are getting annoyed by that. Zizi has had some disagreements with people in the house, including Louis and Ekin-Su and whoever else, so people will either like her or not like her. Nikita put himself up, but I don't think he's going to go. And then obviously Fern has been saved before a couple of times, so let's see what happens with her. So if you did enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and until my next review, thank you for watching and goodbye.